This is 7-5 Radio with Walter Yerkew and Peter Scoop Stanton. This is the radio show that will break your neck, if your neck needs breaking. And here are the hosts of 7-5 Radio, Walter Yerkew, star of the biggest documentary movie ever made, The 7-5, and Peter Scoop Stanton, who starred in To Catch a Predator.
Hello?
Yeah. No, when it's time, we'll hear the music, and then Sam will say, like, all right, you're up. Just trying to get a hold of Walter.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm waiting for that good old rock and roll this morning. Little ZZ Top.
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, old Pink Floyd, man. Now you're talking. Yeah. Wow, man, this rain smells nice out here. I can't believe it. Wow, this is nice. You know that, yeah, man, you know, it could rain in Spain this time of year.
Good afternoon, good evening, one and all. This is Peter Scoop Stanton, and you're listening to 7-5 Radio on the Liberty News Radio Network. Check us out at 75radio.org. That's the number 75radio.org. Anyways, we are red hot rolling this Saturday, September the 2nd, 2023. Good God, it's already September. Anyways, Mr. Yerkew, have you woke up for your nap? No, I guess we have to. Mr. Yerkew's headed to the Tennessee studios in the Jeep. Oh, hold on 1 second. Oh, I forgot. Yep. All right. Well, we red hot and rolling. How are we doing tonight, sir?
No, I'm watching the Yankee games. 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth, they win it. So I'm trying to watch this Yankee game. So, oh well.
At least you have your priority straight. Since when do we have cable? We got Yankee games at the Tennessee studios. I'm in my bedroom, which looks like something from Sanford & Son. But anyways, I digress.
You got to stop covering the television screen with that stuff. So.
Nice. Anyways, we want to say hello to our. All right, can we
clean the screen once in a while?
Can we proceed? We are on the air live, and we got a guest on the horn.
Didn't curse.
So
I didn't curse.
I know, but you're talking about my TV screen and stuff I'm putting on the TV screen. Come on now, nobody wants to hear about that. We only got 15 minutes. Nobody wants to hear.
I didn't mean anything nasty.
Oh.
That's your gut of mine, not mine.
Anyways, we want to say hello to some of our special listeners, which was left of them. Little Billy Keeler and the men and the alleged woman of the Yanadas, New York Fire Department, also known as the Cellar Savers. Be safe, one and all. And first order of business, as usual, we want to remember men and women in the law enforcement community who were murdered in the line of duty. And fortunately, tonight we have no names to read off. However, we've lost 2 members of law enforcement in automobile accidents. And, you know, be safe in them SUVs, folks. But we have a very special guest tonight. He is a returning guest. His name is Ray Hardin. He spent 34 years with the Drug Enforcement Administration, and he is always loaded for bear. Larry, how are we doing tonight?
Hey, good morning, and good morning to Walter there, or good evening there, man. But by the way, I don't think the Yankees are going to win. I really don't. But anyway, that's a different story.
Hey, it's over. It's over. They just won. They just won.
Well, it's I tell you what, it's Well, we haven't got started yet, but anyway, it's a little after 4:00 in the morning, and I was telling Pete Scoop there it's raining, and that's really unusual for this time of year.
Where Larry, it's 10:13 here in Washington D.C. It's 9:13 in Eastern Tennessee, where Walter's at. Where are you at 4:13 in the a.m.?
I'm here in Rota, Spain. It's a military base over here. Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing, my old stomping ground, sir?
Well, yeah, it is your old stomping grounds here. I tell you, it's been a great opportunity for me to come back each year to teach criminal justice. But this year, I actually started last year, all because of, well, it's probably my fault. It's where I'm born and raised in Kentucky, and we know how to say our pronouns, and we know what's the difference between a man and a woman, and so on. But for me, at my age now, I can't change. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. But military is going through this new phase, this new change, and I started getting in trouble in the classroom of not pronouncing. Like I said, you're a woman, your husband, and I realized when they tell me, "Son, no, it's not my husband, it's my wife." I said, "Wait a minute, it's your wife," and she'll tell me, "Yes," and things like that. And I don't know, I just got kind of messed up there, and are playing role playing. You know, you're a mother, you got kids, right? Yes, but you're a mother. We're going to do the role plan. Next thing I know, she's not a mother. It's one of those things. Oh, anyway, it's early in the morning
Larry,
over here.
Who's telling Larry? Let's back up real quick. Who's telling you got to use pronouns and can't call a lady who gives birth a mother? What you want to call her? The B word? But who's telling you this?
No. It's educational. Yeah, it's part of the educational program. But when I say this year actually started. It started several months ago, I believe. But now they're not given the opportunity for the students to continue their education. Not the first 4 years. You know, the guy joins the military after go through boot camp. You go through the process, and you know that, Scoop. When you join the military, you're given great opportunity for education. Well, now they're not going to do that. They're not going to pay anything for your first 4 years. But after, if you re-up, yeah.
Hold on. So when I went through basic training, I signed up for the Montgomery GI Bill, even though I was a college graduate. So you're telling me that they can't use their benefits until after they re-up?
That is absolutely correctly. Well, my understanding here, because I've been talking to several guys, and now they know I'm on board once again. I just did a presentation. I was a guest speaker, and I'm meeting some really, really good men and women that are in the military. Well, it's a mixture of everything now. Of course, in my classroom, they know DAs there, so I attract certain people that will come into the classroom.
Well, of course. Anyways, we're coming on our first commercial break. When we come back, we got Larry Ray Hardin telling us that GIs can't use the Montgomery GI Bill that they paid for until their second bit tour duty. Anyways, we got a lot more to talk about with Larry. Stay tuned, everybody. This is 75 Radio on Liberty News Radio Network. Take it away.
As you all know, Roe versus Wade has resulted in some of the most permissive abortion laws anywhere in the world. For example, in the United States, it's one of only 7 countries to allow elective late-term abortions, along with China, North Korea, and others. Right now, in a number of states, the laws allow a baby to be born from his or her mother's womb in the 9th month. It is wrong. It has to change. Americans are more and more pro-life. You see that all the time. In fact, only 12% of Americans support abortion on demand at any time. Under my administration, we will always defend the very first right in the Declaration of Independence, and that is the right to life.
As As a parent, is receiving a faith-based, character-focused education for your children difficult to find? Do you believe that godly principles should be a central component in your child's education? Imagine a school where faith and integrity are at its center, where heritage and responsibility instill character. For over 40 years, American Heritage School has been educating both hearts and minds, bringing out academic excellence. This is the school where character and embracing the providence of a living God are fundamental, where students' national test scores average near the 90th percentile. With American Heritage School's advanced distance education program, distance is no longer an issue. With an accredited LDS-oriented curriculum from kindergarten through 12th grade, your children can attend from anywhere in the world. American Heritage School will prepare your child for more than a job. It will prepare them for life. To learn more, visit american-heritage.org. That's american-heritage.org.
As the United States boldly stepped forward in the glorious light provided by its new Constitution in 1787, the nations of the earth were in awe of the newfound strength and hope of this free land. Today, the nation stands at a crossroads. A divergence from the original intent put forth in the United States Constitution has brought grave threats to our beloved nation. A miracle is needed if the United States is to survive. That miracle is again the pure application of the United States Constitution. I'm Scott Bradley. In my To Preserve the Nation book and lecture series, I bring forth truths that will help raise up a new generation of statesmen like those noble Americans who founded this land. Vigorous application of these principles will invigorate and restore the nation, and we may become again the freest, most prosperous, most respected, and happiest nation on earth. Visit topreservethenation.com to begin that restoration.
You're back, and Scoop is just getting back from posting insults on Twitter. This is still 7.5 Radio.
Okay, we are back.
Scoop Stanton with Walter Yerkew and our guest, Ray Hardin. How am I coming in, gentlemen?
Perfect for me. Loud and clear in Spain. Yeah.
Outstanding. Anyways, Ray Hardin is in Spain where it is 4:20 in the a.m. And he was going over some of the things that have been happening to our GIs, including they have to wait till the second enlistment before they can use the Montgomery GI benefits. Now, with the Montgomery GI Bill, real quick, it's $100 out of your paycheck for a total of 12 months, so $1,200, and you get a whole bunch of money towards your college education. Now, Larry, you're saying that they have to wait till the second enlistment to use those benefits?
Yes, that's correct. That is what I'm hearing over here. And they said, look, it's given to the second enlistment. You know, you go through your first, and if you can re-up again, which they are now. I mean, listen, the military has really. I'm not saying they're desperate, but they just can't get anybody to come in right now, and so because of some of these programs are cutting back. But hey, listen, a lot of these guys are coming in. It's just different now. When I say it's different, I seen a guy the other day, and I thought, wow, what is he wearing? It's an afro, but not what you call a full afro. It's kind of smashed down, but still it's an afro. And he's walking around, and I'm thinking, no, that don't look right. Or as Walt was mentioning a few minutes ago, at the hospital, you know, I mean, there's just a lot of changes going on, and I didn't see an American flag or anything else. But I see like a little, I call it rainbow, you know, the little rainbow colors on a guy's desk, well, somebody's desk anyhow. And I just thought that just doesn't, I I start seeing things that American people just don't see what's going on a military base. But Rhoda is such a high visible place here that I just thought it just didn't look right to see that on somebody's desk at a hospital. And it should be the American flag there. That's what should be there. It should be the American flag at every desk. And but with the education system, it has changed. I have teaching this year And so I'm just hanging out. They love DEA. When I say DEA, Drug Enforcement Administration, and they love it. They send these guys who want to become cops when they get out. So what I'm doing, I'm meeting them privately at a different location in a building, and there we, instead of, just for example, 2 days ago, instead of talking for 1 hour, I ended up talking to these guys for 2 hours, and that group there was just incredible. They were out of San Diego, and those are the kind of guys and women that I'd love to see in the military. But once again, when you get away from that kind of group, you get out and you start walking around. It's like The Walking Dead, man. I mean, it's just everybody's just afraid to say anything. Afraid to say the wrong word. So yeah, that's what's happened here, and it's something, like I said, there's a lot of things going on over here, but I'm very fortunate to be here. It's a beautiful base. Taxpayers are throwing in a lot of money, U.S. taxpayers, to make the base, bring it up to whatever standard, and so yeah.
Right.
Yeah, to the Biden standard.
Well, no, listen, don't. I can't. I hope I can say this on the air. I don't care. Every time I see his photograph on base here, guys, I tell you what, it turns my stomach, and it just truly does, because to be in the military, it's coming. I call it a storm. You call it. All hell is going. It's going to come, and I sense it. I've been at this too long in my career. I've seen it. I won't go into detail, but I seen a group of people came through the other day. I'm volunteering right now at the USO, and what a great cause.
Larry, you're volunteer. You're not. Are you teaching over there, or just volunteering at the USO?
Exactly. No, I'm not teaching at all. There's just nothing.
Are you dancing
here
with the other soldiers?
It depends if she's wearing a skirt. I shouldn't say that, but if she's
well, hey, a skirt don't tell all these days,
Tell me about it. You got to be careful with your hands, and
yeah.
So
you got to treat those skirts like a farmer checks his chicken eggs. You got to put a light behind it.
Oh, boy.
See what's
it's
inside.
definitely not a Yankees. It's definitely not a Yankees ball game. I guarantee you. 3 strikes and you're out, right?
Yep.
But it's pretty. It's just, guys. I'm telling you, it's just, you got to see if you. Well, anyway, if you can see with your own eyes, I think we're in trouble. Oh, I know we're in trouble. And I think the American people is in trouble back home.
So, Larry, you're volunteering at the USO. You're not working there. You're just volunteering there. How do you get access to the base?
Actually, my wife, she's a retiree, and so she's getting me on base now. And
okay.
yeah, and I know some of the guys at security, and they know me. I mean, I'm getting ready to do some book events over here at the if you're on in the military, it's a military exchange where you buy your clothes or things that you need. They're going to have me do a book event there. Well, I don't sell books. You can't do that on the base. I'm just going to show books. And same with the commissary. And I mean, I'm telling you, I'm very fortunate. And once they find out that I'm DEA, some of the guys that don't know me, they do spend time with me. And listen, one more thing. I got to say, our Marines, God, man, I love them. I love them. I love them. They're awesome over here. They still, for some reason, they're kind of isolated a lot more this time than they were last year. Because they have a different kind of mission, and they're just squared away. And I met one, didn't get his name, but he was in Afghanistan. When was it? A couple years back when they were evacuating. He was in that blast, and of course he survived. And I briefly met him. It was an honor to meet him. It truly was. And I told him, I said, "You're very fortunate. You're very fortunate. But God didn't take you home. He's got a different path for you." And he was right in that crowd when the blast, ended up killing the 13 Marines, what sailors do. So at the same time, it's great for me to be here, because if I wasn't here, I would never met a guy like him. And some of the Marines I met, and some of the other people I met, everything has a reason. And everything has a reason because son of a gun, the Yankees won. So that's the reason.
Right. Now, Larry, so you met a couple people, I guess they're special operations type of people. You met some Marines. The Marines over there, they're part of the Fast Action Response Team. They could have gone to Benghazi back in 2012, but
that's right.
We don't know what happened there.
Right.
But what's the overall? What does the average sailor look like? Are they AJ squared away? Do they have their hair high and tight? Are they walking with a purpose, or are they just drugged up slobs like they are back here in America?
Wow, man, you hit a key point. Get away from the Marines, just regular or military. The Marines look sharp. They do things together. They're always together. They're doing formations together. Even do car washes together. In other words, they're still tight, but they're not contaminated, more or less. Like I said, they have a certain mission. But man, when I look around and see our young men and women too, the tattoos, that's something, but all over their body. And then you see how fat. When you just said that, it just blew me away to see so many overweight, fat, people walking around, and.
Right. This is not the Navy I enlisted and re-enlisted, and it just absolutely went like everything else this guy does. Just went to crap. But when we
we're in trouble.
Right. But anyways, Larry, hold that thought. Larry, hold that thought. When we come back, Walter's got a story about a nurse in a hospital in Manhattan Island. Stay tuned, everybody. This is 75 Radio. Take it away.
Your daily Liberty News Wire. You're listening to Liberty News Radio.
USA News. I'm Jerry Barmash. President Biden traveled to Florida on Saturday to get a first-hand look at the damage from Hurricane Idalia. Biden said the government will help Floridians recover from last week's storm. While Republican Senator Rick Scott was alongside Biden, Governor Ron DeSantis, a GOP candidate for president, was a no-show. Biden said he wasn't disappointed, quote, "He did help us plan this," the Washington Post reported. It was a sad day for parrot heads as Jimmy Buffett died. His Margaritaville became an anthem for millions. A statement on his official website didn't provide a cause of death, but Buffett canceled concerts in May for hospitalization of an undisclosed illness. A tribute is scheduled at 5 p.m. on Sunday in Key West, where he frequented for decades. And Mayor Terry Johnson told CNN he was beloved on the island.
He made a lot of friends in the city of Key West and the Florida Keys. In fact, he had a recording studio down in our waterfront area for years and years.
Buffett was 76. Former New Mexico Governor Bill Richardson died Friday. He served in the President Clinton administration as Energy Secretary and UN Ambassador. The Clintons said in a statement, quote, "He was a masterful and persistent negotiator who helped make our world more secure and won the release of many individuals held unjustly abroad." Richardson was 75. Tens of thousands attending the Burning Man Festival in the Nevada desert are being told to conserve food and water after a heavy rainstorm, CNN reported. Those in attendance were mired in ankle-deep mud as rain pelted the area starting Friday night. The week-long event runs until September 5th. Barbie is now the most successful film of the year across the globe with $1.3 billion. This is USA News.
Airlines have just reduced their prices even more. Book 30 days in advance and save big.
Want the absolute lowest prices on your airline tickets? Then call the Low Cost Airlines Travel Hotline right now for prices so low we can't publish them anywhere. The only way to access our low rates and save up to 70% is to call. Save hundreds on your vacation tickets by calling right now. You can fly anywhere in the world and pay discount prices on your airline tickets. Book a flight today to London, Paris, Madrid, or anywhere else you want to go. And pay a lot less guaranteed. Call the International Travel Department right now at Low Cost Airlines.
802-341-4541. 802-341-4541. 802-341-4541. That's 802-341-4541.
Wow, you're still listening? Here's more 7-5 Radio.
And we are back. Walter Yerkew, Scoop Stanton, and our guest, Larry Ray Hardin. Now, we were talking about these transgenders, the he, she's, and thems, and the skirts with the bulge, and so on and so forth. Walter, why don't you go ahead with your story about what happened in New York recently?
I got a friend of mine, and he works at my mom. Say that for me, Maimonides Hospital. Okay, and he has a friend that's an ER nurse, and she's all about the LGBTQ plus minus times divided by. She's all about that community. Now, when and that's fine. I've been saying for years that's fine. If that's what you're backing, great. But you got to be a little more realistic about it. And this nurse was telling my friend that she'll treat any transgender that comes into her emergency room. So my friend asked, he asked her, she says, well, what if a transgender, male to female, comes in and says, he's having a baby or he wants an abortion, or he's having a miscarriage. Would you treat him? And she got mad at him. She says, that's not the point. I said, and he said, well, the guy wants to be a girl. So in order for him to be a girl, he feels like he's got to be pregnant or to get an abortion or have a miscarriage. How are you going to treat that? What would you say to him? And she wouldn't answer him because I would say, send him to G building at Kings County because, you picture it. How would you handle that? You back the LGBT community in such a way where you'll treat any transgender person that comes in, but this one wants an abortion, and he's a dude. He was born a male. How what do you as a nurse, what would you say to that?
Larry,
you'd have to get a psych. You'd have to get the resident psych over there to tell him, listen, you may think yourself as a female, but you can't get pregnant.
Right.
And then starts a war.
Exactly.
Then all of a sudden there's a freaking lawsuit.
Right.
And it gets worded where, the TS says, we'll say that the psychologist diminished him or her in the mindset, saying that he's not a woman. They'll twist it around.
Well, I will just say, look, a nurse will say, look, okay, you're having a baby or whatever, just kind of bend over and all she has to do is reach down and grab those family jewels and squeeze the hell out of them. And
pull those balls off.
Go ahead and pop out.
Pull those coyotes off and say, and say you have twins.
Pop out that baby. Yeah, well, he's got two marbles there, make them twins, But I'm just telling you, this is crazy. It's insane. I agree with you, Walt. I give that respect. I'm not the judge of that. God is the judge of our hearts and souls, but our minds are freaking warped now. And we're going back to the days, brother, when God said enough's enough. It's coming, man. Enough is enough. Hurting children. People coming in and say, look, even though I got some family jewels and I got a 1-inch pecker, but you know what? I'm a girl. See, that's wrong. But don't push that on me. And for the nurse to say that, I'd like to see her try to do something like that, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Try to get a baby out of him, huh?
Or coddle it and say, yeah, okay, put your feet in the stirrups. How would you do that?
Exactly.
You go through the motions and spend the city's tax dollars on a person that doesn't have insurance to put his feet up in stirrups and make believe he had a baby.
Exactly. I tell you what, if she did that and reached for a scalpel and said, "Now raise your family jewels up, I'm gonna cut you down so we can deliver that baby," I bet he'll come out of that. I bet he'll jump out and run. But something's going to happen. That this is going to end. Mm-hmm. We all know that, guys. This is madness right now. I do read. I read a lot, man. It's beautiful. Sodom and Gomorrah, man. I mean, where in the hell? I mean, how that got started? Or where the Noah's Ark. I mean, people say, but just read it. Because, man, we're talking about today, brother. It's worse than it's ever have been. And what I see in the military over here, a guy walking around he's not a guy, you know, but is that a woman? Is that a guy? You know,
So
when you
Larry,
get into a combat,
Larry, real quick, you mentioned like if you don't know if a sailor is male or female, are they letting transgender people dress like what they want, dress up as the gender that they want to be? Like, because I know what's his name, Bradley Manning, when he got popped for this person unclassified material, he said he wanted to become a chick. So the Department of Defense paid for all the surgeries and hormones and stuff. Are they doing that now with the regular GIs?
I have no idea. I truly don't. But when you talked about, you know, when you look at when you're walking, you know, you see a man in a uniform, but then you know, I have to take another look, and I'm thinking that's not a man. That's a woman, or is it a man? You know, you guys know what I'm talking about. And now I don't see a lot of makeup. I don't see anything like that. But it's nothing unusual to see earrings and so on, not on the uniform. Okay, and so far not yet. But it's just.
Well,
all I can tell you that,
Larry, like the military is doing, like you just said, that they're paying for the continuation of the trans. To
without a doubt,
hormones and all that ridiculousness. Now they do that in the state prisons, and what's happening is, and I've read up on this. I've read up on this. It's been happening for since it was allowed to talk about it. You know, I'm going back 35, 40 years. People who want to be transgender start getting their shots. Okay, one way or another. And in order to complete their transition, they throw a brick, as we used to say in the old days, end up in a state facility or a federal facility, and by law, they have to continue those shots. They have to continue the treatment on that person. Because that they were under a doctor's care. This is what the doctors prescribe, and they have to continue it. It's like, I have thyroid disease. So when I was in prison, they got to continue my medication because it was, by a doctor.
Absolutely.
You see? So it's the same thing with the transition.
Oh, no, absolutely.
So the people in each and every state do not realize that a lot of their tax dollars are going to these injections and treatments for these people.
That's right. Exactly. Even the federal too. Now, I have put people in jail, take them down to the prison, and book them in or whatever, and they give a list of medication that they're on. And you're right, they're well taken care of. If they got a dental problem, they're going to be in there for a while. They'll be taken care of. If they want to speak, especially on the border, anything with languages too. Now, I mean, all the people that's coming in this country right now. Let me tell you, some do probably end up going to jail and prison, but you know what? That's probably the best thing ever happened to them, because now they're getting medical. They're getting medical taken care of. Their dental. I mean, you name it, and they feel safe. And it's just a big thing. It's just sad. American people, hey, Walt and Pete, you guys know what's going on, and we do too. But a lot of people out there in America, they can't even tell you who was the first president of the United States. Or which side is the Atlantic and the Pacific. And so it's like...
Yeah, I always said, white bread America just doesn't know. They don't even know if you can pass the guy on the right if he's making a left turn in front of you.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But you're right. Well, I mean, I'm telling you, I've seen so much, it's confusing. I spend my time when I was teaching, I could teach a criminal investigation course, but I'm telling you, I spend so much time talking about American history, because they don't know anything about history. They don't know about our founding fathers. They don't know. I mean, it's incredible. We're talking about the third year at the college level or senior year, and they still don't know. They don't get it, what's happened to our country. Over here, the same with the military. And you talk about you mentioned woke. Damn, I don't know what woke is. I mean, I do, but I don't want to know what woke is, because it's a deadly disease. Woke is a disease. It truly is, in my mind, to tell our young people and tell especially our military. Let's see, there's a reason. You both know You guys do this day in and day out, and I tell you what, I'm only focusing on right now trying to get the truth out there in these books. And but when I run into people and I see it, I just get so sad for them because that is not the way of life. It's just gonna be a lot of headaches and problems. And children, guys, come on. Even the children, you talk about adults going to prison. A kid now, he can be in school. He can tell the teacher, "I'm a girl," and before he goes home, next thing you know, when he gets home, he has no nuts, or something's happened to him already, And paid, once again, paid by taxpayer dollars, man.
Yeah, there's lawsuits all over the country with kids telling their teachers or their guidance counselors that their parents won't let him or her transition.
Hey girls, about finished with your lesson on money?
Daddy, what is a buy-sell spread for gold coins?
Well, when you sell a gold coin to a coin shop that's worth, say, $1,200, you don't actually get $1,200. But don't worry, we're members of UPMA now, so we don't have to worry about that.
Daddy, what if somebody steals our gold?
We don't have any gold at the house. It's stored safely in the UPMA vault, securely and insured.
But the S&P 500 outperformed gold. Daddy, gold is a bad investment.
Some people do think of it that way, but actually, gold is money. And as members of the United Precious Metals Association, we can use our gold at any store, just like a credit card. Or I can ask them to drop it right into Mommy and Daddy's bank account, because we're a UPMA member family.
Find out more at upma.org. That's upma.org.
Why don't we say to the government writ large that they have to spend a little bit less? Anybody ever had less money this year than you had last? Anybody better have a 1% pay cut? You deal with it. That's what government needs, a 1% pay cut. If you take a 1% pay cut across the board, you have more than enough money to actually pay for the disaster relief. But nobody's going to do that because they're fiscally irresponsible. Who are they? Republicans. Who are they? Democrats. Who are they? Virtually the whole body is careless and reckless with your money. So the money will not be offset by cuts anywhere. The money will be added to the debt, and there will be a day of reckoning. What's the day of reckoning? The day of reckoning may well be the collapse of the stock market. The day of reckoning may be the collapse of the dollar. When it comes, I can't tell you exactly, but I can tell you it has happened repeatedly in history when countries ruin their currency.
You know where the solution can be found, Mr. President? In churches, in wedding chapels, in maternity wards across the country and around the world. More babies will mean forward-looking adults, the sort we need to tackle long-term, large-scale problems. American babies in particular are likely going to be wealthier, better educated, and more conservation-minded than children raised in still industrializing countries. As economist Tyler Cowen recently wrote, quote, "By having more children, you're making your nation more populous, thus boosting its capacity to solve climate change. The planet does not need for us to think globally and act locally so much as it needs us to think family and act personally. The solution to so many of our problems, at all times and in all places, is to fall in love, get married, and have some kids."
This is 7.5 Radio with Walter Yuku. Walter Yurkow. Walter Kiwi. Here's Walton Scoop.
5.5 years. Still have that same bumper with James Edwards. These years. Anyways, we're having a hell of a conversation talking about the forced transgenderism. Because folks, if you're a guy or girl, you want to be the opposite gender, have at it. Just don't ask us to pay for it. Don't ask us to subsidize it. But anyways, gentlemen, before I hand it over to Larry, it seems like it's up to third worldism or right to the gates of hell. Do you think all this push for transgenderism and homosexuality towards our kids is so that we're getting more used to it, more pedophilia, because before pedophiles were just known as pedophiles, but now they're known as minor attracted persons or minor attracted people. What's your thoughts, Larry? I'll go ahead. I'll start with you first.
Yeah, I tell you what my thoughts are. This is going to end. It cannot. This is not normal. Most people know that you cannot let an individual. You know, I say this really quick, and it was beautiful because I was invited seriously as a guest speaker with GOP out in San Diego, but going through the whole motion about exactly what you guys are talking about. Finally, I had one lady, a Hispanic lady. She said she was from Colombia. She came to this country when she was a little girl. She's an adult now. She's got like 11 or 12 kids because she adopts them. And she said, "Enough is enough." She stood up right in front of its audience, and she stood up and she said, "Enough is enough. I'm tired when a man walks up. If you can call it a man, he walks up and he's naked, okay, and he's playing with this thing in front of my kids." He said, "Enough is enough. That's not normal." She said, I love this country. She said, she was invited to come back to meet with Donald Trump, our president. And she said, it's incredible what he's trying to do. He's trying to be part of it, like you guys, to save our country, to save it from this craziness, what's happened. This is not normal, guys. We know that. And what you two are doing on the radio show, and it's having me back on the radio show, it's an honor. You know, I mean, seriously. And and you guys are just out there, just keep pushing it. That's what it's all about, man. You know. And listen, what Walt said about that nurse, damn, she's telling the truth, man. I mean, that's how she feel about it. You know. But you know what? They haven't seen it. I know what homosexuality is. I've seen it with my own eyes when it comes to narcotics. Or a child been abused. I've seen it, man. I've seen a little girl. I watched a little girl. She had no idea that thing that was in her mouth. All she was doing is trying to make some money, you know. So, but anyway, jump in there, guys, because you can get me all upset here.
All right. Well, do you think we're headed to acceptance of touching kids by grown adults?
No, I don't think that will ever be taken off of the law. That's something that will stay forever and ever. What's going to happen is in the courts, it's going to be twisted to fit a narrative that doesn't constitute the maximum penalties. And I think that's where the change is going to happen. It's an arrestable offense. It's a felony. However, with plea deals or the person giving up websites or other emails to other pedophiles, you know, these things, there's so many of them out there. Everybody's going to make a deal except the last one, you know, and you know, everybody's going to get a soft ride, so to speak, you know, in a jail, whether it's county time or state time or federal time. It's going to be an easier, a lighter sentence. And like I said, there are so many out there. The only one that's going to do real time would be the last one because there's nobody left.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, that's a good point because you're right on that. But guys, I can tell you that what you just said there, that it's a wake-up call. It's not woke. American people need to wake up. And you know, guys, I'd be very blunt with you. We call it cleansing. It's going to have the right and the left. This is what the civil wars we have. You know, I've seen enough of the world that I realize these countries like Greece, Rome, they all filled within because it just got crazy and wild. These countries were founded on morals and principles, just like our founding fathers that came into the United States. We're not perfect, but man, we got it going. And when you're over here, try to get into some of these countries and look where the American soldiers that have died for that, for our freedoms. But now our freedoms have been twisted. When you got the President of the United States coming up and sucking on ears of little kids, that's not normal, man. But the media is trying to make it normal, you know? Where a guy takes a little girl that she has no idea what sex is. Here's a question here, guys. I watched a movie. I hope I can say it on your radio. It's The Sound of Freedom, and I couldn't finish it July 4th. But I look at the audience. Some of the guys I was watching they were eating damn popcorn while this is going on, and it's horrifying to see what they're doing to children. But when you see people sitting there eating popcorn and sucking down a soda, it's not really touching their heart. But over here in the military, they won't show that. They're not going to show that on the screen over here, The Sound of Freedom. Really? You're not going to see that movie in Spain right now, And
wow.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Why wouldn't the DOD show Sound of Freedom in the theater over there?
That's a good question. And see, that's a question that our young people should be asking. Well, wait a minute here. I might be gay, whatever. But why are they pushing it so hard? Not that, except. The reason is because the children. I talked to a lady just yesterday about it, and she told me, she said, I want to watch it, but I haven't. But you know what? I'm not going to go back to America because I have 2 kids. I went, what? She said, I have 2 children. I'm making my husband re-up because I don't want to go back, or I don't want anything to happen to my children. Because she's been hearing about the movie itself, but she also knows what's happened. As Walter just said a few minutes ago, listen, that nurse, what she told Walter or his friend, that is one of many, probably hundreds and thousands of hospitals out there that nurses like that believe in that. Walter, what would you do if you were a nurse and some guy come in, he's telling you, I want to have a baby. I'm having a baby. How would you handle that, Walter? Will you be watching the Yankees?
I'd probably use a line out of the Goodfellas and say, "What the F are you talking about? Get the F out of here."
You said that perfect, man. I'm telling you.
That's Walter Yerke, registered nurse with an outstanding bedside manner. Anyways, Larry, we only got a couple minutes left, and it's been a very good but very hard show to do. How can people get in contact with you and what you're doing and buy some of your books? Well,
the books, I don't force people to buy the books. I'm just not that kind of guy. If you want to buy them, they are true. They are true from my heart. They bleed. They really do. I sit down and met with a director not too long ago for 2 days in Vegas. If they can make a movie, it'd be beautiful. If they don't, I don't worry about it. I truly don't, because God has a purpose for all of us in our lives. Okay? And same with Walter, not to make a joke and light out of it, but the story is that nurse, that poor guy walked in there that's going to have a baby. Man, he's possessed. It's evil, man. I'm not a tap dancer, brother. I just didn't come off the streets. I lived on the streets for almost 24 years, and I know what's out there. And when I say something, brother, I really mean it. It's sick. Our society is sick. It's like a dog gone mad, and it's going to have to end in a sad way, but it just has to. So anyway, my website is Can I say that, Scoop? My website.
Please.
Oh, it's www.LarryRayHardin. It's all together, Larry Ray Hardin and .com, and you'll see my mugshot there when I was in prison for. No, I've never been in jail. But, well, I mean, I've been around the ballpark, not around the jail. But I want to say thank you both. Thank you both for having me on, okay? And God willing, I hope I see you down the road. And Scoop, you call me back anytime, okay? And but I'm not a Yankee fan, Walt. Huh?
Larry,
I'm sorry, you are.
It's 4:57.
I'm a Pink Floyd.
What's Pink Floyd have to do with the New York Yankees? But anyways, Larry, it's 4:57.
Well, listen.
I'm not going to after this show, I'll wait a couple hours before I give you a call.
Don't call me. Wait till my wife gets up. If you call, man, I'm telling you, I will be out playing ball somewhere. I guarantee I will. No, give me. It's what time is it? 5:00 in the morning over here. Hey, man. Hey, Walt. You guys don't call here and you wake my wife up. I got to live with her. You hear me?
Right. Anyways, with that being said, this is Peter Scoop Stanton with Walter Yerke and Larry Ray Hardin. Remind you, you can make a difference. Go out and make it. See you next week, everybody.
Edwards for 7-5 Radio. For those who work the streets and the jails, thanks for keeping us safe. So long, everybody.